who's going to win out in the end.
The reason why they have those sorts of rules is that really young companies are generally very high-risk investments. And so you want people who have enough disposable income. And I'm not necessarily in agreement with this. An egalitarian system would probably be better, but this is just the way that the thinking has always been. Is you need people with a certain amount of wealth before you will allow them to do certain really high-risk investments. And it's sort of unfair that you just have this arbitrary rule that you have to have a certain amount of income or a certain amount of net worth before you're an accredited investor. But that's the way it's been for a really, really long time.
Yeah, I don't even know if Ethereum would have taken off if it weren't for the crowd fund.
So,
Probably not.
So going back to what you were saying earlier about mass adoption of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies, I think there's another thing that's overlooked that could possibly excel not only the value and the scarcity of Bitcoin, but the entire network into mass adoption by default, and that's crowdfunding. And if a system, because you get a contract, it's sort of like the sword and stone situation. It doesn't matter what happens, what legislation the government passes. You put these values that are from crowd funds, and you have micro investors, people putting in $1 even, to get a share.
That's right.
And then all of a sudden you have $1 trillion worth of Bitcoin sitting in a cryptocurrency account, and all of a sudden you've got a scarcity in Bitcoin, and the value starting raising. And, there's all kinds of different things that can happen that can create mass adoption, way beyond just people, that hang out at Facebook would, start using it. It's just about really the next level, the Internet 3.0. The next the next couple of years are going to be very interesting to see what happens once these smart contracts become online, and these values get locked into smart contracts that are going to fund a decentralized autonomous organization. But that organization is going to take a year or so. So money is going to be locked away in these accounts, that can't be touched, or they get siphoned out through an escrow, through a digital contract. And I mean, the sky's the limit. What can happen, and as far as the obsolescence of all these things, I go back to the true focus. Really isn't anything that the government's doing. If you're focusing on any of that, you're not focusing on the right stuff, because it's really exciting what's going to be happening around the corner.
Yeah, for sure. Sorry.
Go ahead.
Well, the thing that concerns me the most about it is, because I would just love to be able to live my life and I do and engage in this technology, but we see these prime examples like Kim.com, for example,
right?
Who gave this technology where people could file share and stuff like that, and just offered these services for free. And what they do, they go to his place in New Zealand or wherever it was. He hasn't even been to the States. Take his house, take his mansion, threaten to throw him in jail, seize all his assets. And so, as much as we can all ignore them and proceed with what we're doing, in some ways they can use force to get what they want, right? Which is usually the last resort, but they've used it more often than not, right?
But you have to be aware of whatever you read in the news, because he had a background of hacking in Germany, and he was arrested in Germany. And not saying that, look, his technology is good, all that, but I'm sure he got a few cease and desist letters, calm down, you're generating millions of dollars. This is not being taxed. You need to work. Well, fuck you, government. I'm not okay. Well, we're gonna raid your house. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. Oh, the government is raided me. It's yeah, they did raid you, but I'm sure come on, dude. You have to meet them half. They want to get paid. It's just taxes. They don't want to kill you necessily. Anybody.
Right.
The point of it is that most of this stuff will be decentralized. It won't be anyone. It'll just be a million people that put $1 into an account.
Right.
And that account it has an escrow and employs a group of people to create a decentralized autonomous organization. Once they create it, it's open source. They walk away. They take their payment for just doing the labor. And all of a sudden, there's now this system that doesn't rely on one single person anywhere in the world. or it's just a node. It's a giant network.
And that's
Decentralized.
why in with respect to the United States, and I'm not someone who's going to defend the United States to the end, but you have to say that, look, not every single thing they do is bad. So in a sense, with what you just said, maybe it's pretty good to limit it. And to be honest, like, look, if I would have spent like $3,000 worth of bought Ethereum a year ago, oh my God, but I missed that window. You know what I mean? So oh, they limited only $3,000. Like, yeah, $3,000 can buy you a lot though in this world. You know what I mean? So it's like, it does. It kind of protects consumers a little bit, but if it goes straight draconian, then yeah, I'm not even gonna argue that. You know what I mean?
I'm not totally sure that the crowdfund act is applicable here, because it would require registering as a fundraising portal, and there's a lot of other things. The crowd sales are different than they're contemplating Kickstarter. That's what they're.
Oh, okay, they're way behind then.
Definitely.
Never mind.
Literally, Kickstarter and crowdfunding is a new thing for these people, and it's like that's not a new thing.
Okay,
Like,
I thought
it's like it's not new, guys. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's a slippery slope. It starts with Kickstarter, and then they look at ICOs and cryptocurrencies, and for me, it's just a principle thing, right? It's a principle thing of, like, if I'm not harming anyone, right? If I'm not violating your rights and I'm not harming anyone, what business do they have interloping in my private affairs? That's where it really comes down to. And even if allow me the liberty to make my own stupid choices and mistakes, right? I mean,
yeah.
If I'm gonna,
it gets
fraudulent securities either.
Yeah.
So if somebody goes and creates a DAO with a completely fraudulent token that they're selling,
yeah,
a piece of business, and it's like,
come on now.
Yeah, and it happens.
It's gonna happen.
It definitely happens, but I could say what good has the regulations done to quell the financial frauds happening in the legacy systems, right?
Yeah.
You still get naked short selling. You still get front running with high frequency algorithms, front running transactions in the markets.
And there's the housing bust, which is like.
Everybody felt that.
Yeah, exactly. There was the housing bust. I mean, fractional reserve banking. I mean, I don't know. I would love to hear someone try to explain to me how fractional reserve banking really works, like how it's not a Ponzi scheme, how it's not inherently based on a foundation of fraud, when its entire system was based on lying about how much gold you had in your vaults and issuing out more paper notes on loan, charging interest for issuing out more paper notes and gold that you actually have on reserve, and then legalizing that and turning that into an entire credit system. How the hell?
That's why we live in an absolute insane asylum where everyone basically exists a reality on something that is created out of thin air, out of the imagination of a bunch of guys.
Yeah. I've yet to hear any politician actually explain the economy to anyone. I've yet to hear any, and I would love to crowdsource this for anyone to see if they can find any evidence anywhere from any debates or anywhere where the politicians actually talk about the banking system and how they get their money.
There's a lot of politicians who are economists. There's probably some, but there's not. There should be more of them, you should think.
Yes. Okay, so guys, we're hitting up to 2 hours. So we'll start wrapping up some stuff. So first, I think from the Synereo team, is there anything you kind of want to wrap up about what you guys are doing? And lastly, say to anybody that's listening, and later when I edit.
Yeah, sure. Let's start with the community, and then down to what you can do today. So tomorrow, same thing that we did here. We're continuing the discussion over on our channel to discuss governance, and which we will really get into near the end there. You can join our Slack channel for that link, or it's on the YouTube if you want to join and participate in the conversation. We have a Zoom room, and that actually has 50 slots. So that may be something you want to be looking into here in the future. so you can get a couple more people on, or however you want to govern that. And then amps are trading on Poloniex or Bittrex, so you can buy amps now. There will be another crowd sale after, I think, the launch of the network. John, is that right? If you're there,
It sounded like they might do that sooner.
so they might do it sooner. So yeah.
So-
And then there's a equity sale coming up too at Bank to the Future. So more details on that when that drops, and hopefully next few weeks. So a lot of exciting news coming from us soon.
Sounds good. Sounds good. And Crypto Hustle, you want to wrap up a little bit of your thoughts and.
Sure. So my site's cryptohustle.com. I do have as a trader, I do have a focus on trading in the markets, and I see the crypto economy as a symbiosis between miners, developers, and traders, because you need healthy order books and liquidity for the miners to be able to cash in and out of, as well as the merchants to be able to cash in and out of, and oftentimes developers won't be able to necessarily make money or get paid if their ecosystem's not healthy and if there's not enough liquidity on the order books. We see a lot of projects, really good projects, innovative projects, die as a result of having illiquid markets and people just kind of abandoning the coins and projects. So I see it all as a symbiosis, and I do know that trading is a zero-sum game, and it can have like a bit of a predatory aspect to it. But if you're not engaging in market manipulation and shitty fly-by-night pump and dumps and things like that, I think there can still be a healthy relationship there. So cryptohustle.com, I try to mix a balance between trading as well as philosophy of decentralization.
Lee Travis, do you want to say anything lastly to kind of anything about what we're doing right now or saying right now?
Appreciate you guys coming on and letting us know about Synereo, getting us a more in-depth look at the platform that you guys are building over there. Thank you a lot.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, guys.
Yeah, it was really exciting. Tech Lord, do you want to add anything in here?
Yeah, well, my website is techlords.net. So any of the people present in the panel right now, if you need help transitioning to Linux, we'll help you out for free. So just email me, info@techlords.net, and I'll help you out.
Cool.
That's it.
Nice.
Right on.
Nice. Okay.
It's been a pleasure, guys.
Yeah, it's been really fun. I like this panel, and
Yeah,
I think too, moving forward, we'll stay in touch and we'll keep you informed with each other, and I'll keep on listening in on your hangouts and researching you guys. But maybe in a couple of weeks or whatever, we'll start another show to revisit you guys and dig into more of these topics, because there's tons of stuff we could talk about, and
Yep.
I really appreciate you guys coming in.
I'd like to have the invite link, please, Synereo. Maybe send it up by email to me, info@techlords.net.
info@techlords.net. Okay, let me. I'll get you info@techlords.net. Got it.
Nice. Okay.
Cool.
Thanks a lot.
Cool, guys.
Yeah,
Yep.
thanks a lot. Okay,
Yep.
we're going to sign off. This is the Minds Panel Show with Crypto Hustle and Synereo. Thanks a lot. Bye.